Hello and welcome to our exclusive coverage of the 2018 Sun Military Awards, more commonly known, of course, as the Millies. Well, tonight's event is once again being hosted at London's historic banqueting house on Whitehall, where inside they are putting the final touches to tonight's event. And throughout the evening, we're going to show you stories of bravery, of selflessness, and of the dedication of Britain's armed forces. Well, the atmosphere is really hotting up as our guests of honour begin to arrive.
Military person will know this is a Scale A parade. You have to come to this one.
And I always think, this is the most incredible person I've ever met. This is the most amazing story, the bravest thing, the most selfless act, and then you meet somebody else.
People think that because the conflict's over that, you know, they're not doing much. These guys are going out helping other countries, helping people, you know, that's where bravery is, you know, uniting people together.
So they are the modern day superheroes at the end of the day. You know, we watch Spider-Man, Batman on TV, but, you know, these guys are the real heroes.
Some of the best stories make you cry, and they're the most important ones that have to be told, so, yeah.
These are people that we quite rightly look up to, we quite rightly celebrate, because they are making a difference.
Well, we'll be hearing much more from our guests, as well, of course, as our award winners throughout the evening. But now let's hand you over to our host for tonight's ceremony, Lorraine Kelly.
Nice to see you. It really is. Good evening and a huge big welcome to the Sun Military Awards, better known to all of us as the Millies. Thank you for the lovely welcome, and what a year it's been, from that fly past that brought London to a standstill to the sheer excitement of the Invictus Games on the other side of the world. This year has continued to be another year of exceptional heroism and inspiration. And once again, the Sun invited readers, members of the public, colleagues, neighbours and friends to nominate individuals, units or charities who they felt deserved special recognitions. The nominations were then sent to our panel of judges, many of whom are here today, and they had the very difficult task of choosing a winner in each category, and believe you me, it was very tough. Tonight, we're joined by our nominees, along with supporters from the world of telly, film and sport, to present the awards, and to present 10 of them, including a Judges' Special Award. So please join me in giving all of our nominees, our fantastic nominees, a huge round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you. You're all amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, we're going to start tonight with the award for Overcoming Adversity, presented to an individual from the Royal Navy, Army or RAF who has overcome personal adversity in any area of their life. Here are the nominations. First of all, we've got Staff Sergeant Danny Knox. Now, he was left with horrific leg injuries after a vehicle crash. Doctors said that his career was over, but he has defied the medics to return to work. Then there's Lance Bombardier Robert Long. Now, Robert lost both of his eyes in a bomb blast in Helmand. Since then, though, he's not only discovered the martial art of jiu-jitsu, but has triumphed in the sport, and this year he won gold at the Para-Jiu-Jitsu World Championships. And there's Senior Aircraftsman David Atkin. He battled back from a crushed spine to compete at the Invictus Games that we were talking about earlier on. Prince Harry's basically his Olympics for injured troops. So, please welcome on stage to present this award, Bear Grylls and my pal, Susanna Reid.
Thanks so much, Lorraine.
Thank you.
The winner of this award is an individual that I admire so much. Humble, resilient, courageous, and an example to all of us.
The award for overcoming adversity goes to Lance Bombardier Robert Long.
Let's have a look at why he so deservedly won the award.
Robert Long is a Brazilian jiu-jitsu world champion. Watching him fight, you'd never know that just a few years ago he suffered life-changing injuries while serving in Afghanistan.
July 2010, I was hit by an IED, which resulted in me losing my left eye straight away on the battlefield. And then once I got back to the UK, my right eye had to be removed. I've been in pitch black ever since. I went from being a frontline soldier in Afghanistan to not being able to look after myself, cook for myself, do anything independently. I had to learn all independent living skills completely from scratch again. I had to, be guided round by people. My independence was shattered.
Rob was already an experienced kickboxer, but turned to a martial art that relied more on touch than sight.
As soon as Rob got on the mats, you could see physically he is an outstanding athlete, extremely strong, extremely powerful. His sensitivity, his agility, his responsiveness, it's all what you expect of a guy that's fully sighted.
It's not as if he's just doing against para-athletes, he's doing it against fully able-bodied, fully sighted individuals in public open competitions that are open to anyone. And he was a bit apprehensive about that. I was like, you'll be fine, comes out and wins.
Just 2 years after taking up the sport, Rob was winning medals in the British Army team and a gold medal for Great Britain at the Para World Championships.
My son is 6 years old. He doesn't understand about, World Championship medals. He just sees a shiny medal and stuff like that and sees me as his silly dad. But it's fantastic because I've had these opportunities to set an example and be a role model to him. At one point, it felt like I was on the scrap heap of life, going from frontline soldier to being broken, and to come in and to be able to train with the army guys, and to then go on and train at the top level with people like Roger Gracie, and then be in these high level competitions again. It's an opportunity I never thought I would be able to get, and that's why I've reached out and grabbed it with both hands and not let go.
I think it's been very good for his mental health. He's not giving up in life, he's still fully motivated, living life to his fullest. He's not, he comes training on his own, he gets the underground, he walks around town. So he's very difficult, very rare to see that in someone who's been through so much.
If you could bottle Rob's passion, drive, motivation and talent, not only would you become a billionaire overnight, but you'd make the world a much better place. Rob is that much of a good person.
Please welcome to Collector's Award Lance Bombardier Robert Long, accompanied by Seamus Kelly. It's Lorraine here. Hello, gorgeous. How are you feeling?
Oh my God, I don't know what to say.
That's okay, it's fine, it's so fine. You don't have to say anything other than, we think you're fantastic, we really do. And it's a really tough sport, but they were saying that it's good for you physically, but really good for mentally as well.
Yeah, on the mats, everything disappears, so there's no obstacles in my way. It's just me and another competitor, and the respect that they give me by, not giving me an inch, not giving me a mile. They're there to choke me, and I'm there to, it sounds funny, but I don't get that in regular life, and not that I'm seeking that, but it's nice to have that sort of diversity in your life of care and support. And then again, going back to my roots as a soldier, I'm back on the mat and I'm in an environment where I can compete and have the respect of people, where they don't see me as a disabled person necessarily. They see me as a guy who's going to destroy them if they make a wrong move.
Exactly. Long may you continue to flourish. We think you're fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great to see you. Thank you very much indeed.
Robert, huge congratulations. Well done. What does it mean to you to win this award tonight?
It's amazing. It's more than I could have asked for. I've said before that I was injured and I was in the scrap heap of life, and to achieve what I've achieved and then be recognised for it is more than I could have asked for. I don't know. Yeah.
Did you ever imagine you'd be here on a night like tonight, sort of receiving this award? It's incredible.
Absolutely not. I mean, I'm sitting on a table with like Ross Kemp and guys from the British Army Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu team, and it's sort of like a world I've never been involved in or anything like that.
Bear, very quickly, what a great way to start the evening.
It is. Well, this evening is all about celebrating heroes, and you will not see a better example than this incredible man.
Okay, our second award tonight is the award for Hero Overseas Unit, and celebrates a unit from the Navy, Army or RAF for an act of inspirational heroism overseas. Nominated for this award, HMS Daring and her crew repeatedly sailed through a perilous Gulf choke point to protect shipping amid the brutal war between Saudi Arabia and Iranian-backed rebels in Yemen. Then, there's a small team of soldiers on Project Beekeeper this year, and they trained Malawian rangers to protect endangered species from the scourge of poaching. And Number 31 Squadron RAF, they planned and executed a precision blitz on a Syrian regime chemical weapons facility, seriously denting its ability to strike innocent civilians with barbaric illegal weapons. Please welcome on stage to present this award, Victoria Pendleton and Anthony Ogogo.
So, the award for Hero Overseas Unit goes to
Commander Phil Dennis.
In September 2016, the crew of HMS Daring waved goodbye to their friends and families for a 9-month deployment to the Middle East. It was a routine deployment, but that was soon to change.
As we're making our way out to the area through the Mediterranean, we had an indication that the conflict in Yemen had changed fairly significantly in terms of tempo and the threat that was posed in the southern Red Sea to any passing merchant vessels or shipping. So some very rapid replanning and some slight re-rolling, and we were deployed into the southern Red Sea for the last 3 months of 2016.
The Type 45 destroyer operated for 50 days in this high-threat region, well within reach of anti-ship missiles. They spent 97 hours at action stations, ready to react to any threat. The rest of the time in defence watches.
So when you go into defence watches, only half the ship's company is up at once. So I find personally the ship is quieter. But when you go to action stations, clearly everyone is up and around, ready to operate and do whatever they need to do.
It's really important that when you've got 260 sailors on board the ship, all in one place, living and working on board that ship. You can't go home, they can't have that time away. So actually you have to be quite open, you have to be quite honest. You have to trust each other.
The actions of the ship's company of HMS Daring allowed 800,000 tonnes of shipping to pass through the narrow channel, the primary trade route for goods to Western countries, protecting commercial and economic interests on a global scale. This deployment also saw the new Wildcat helicopter used extensively for the first time.
It's an incredibly powerful aircraft, and getting off the ship was easy, really. Getting back on was fine. And in those sort of temperatures, we were looking at 40 degrees, that should be challenging, but it wasn't because of how capable the aircraft was. I was very lucky to operate that aircraft.
Daring's 260-strong crew were praised for their versatility, professionalism and dedication, delivering protection to merchants and seafarers in a dangerous and volatile region on behalf of Her Majesty's government.
Huge congratulations, well done. How does it make you guys feel?
A great feeling, weren't expecting it. And thank you to our friends and family who
with us in spirit during the deployment for the 9 months we were away. Without their love and affection, we couldn't have got through it. So, big thanks out to them.
And I guess sometimes when you're so far away from home, it may be you guys think that people aren't thinking about you or might be forgotten what you're doing out there, but something like this tonight really reaffirms that, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, for very good reasons. At the time, we had to be very circumspect and quiet about what we were doing in detail because of some of the intelligence aspects. But now that we're able to talk more freely about it, it's great to get the recognition for the whole team.
Victoria, just great to be here tonight and to present an award. It must be one of the more enjoyable events of the year.
It is. It's definitely one that sticks in your mind, and this is real courage and dedication and resilience and all the things that as athletes we kind of practice, but this is real life. It means a lot, and it's a privilege to be here and be part of the awards.
How did you choose which ones to come tonight? That's what I want to know. Did you do some kind of lottery?
So 260 on board in November 2016 when we were sort of at the high point of operations. A good probably 2/3 of the ships come from then are back at sea now with other ships away deployed around the world, and probably of the remainers there's a few who couldn't quite get here tonight for good reasons. So I'm not saying I'm with the dregs tonight, but I'm with the guys that were available from the team at the time. No. So we've done really, really well.
You're the best we could get, essentially. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I must just say, Ben has just had a baby girl last night, and he's made his way down here, and that's double congratulations.
Very, very proud father. So.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Yeah, absolutely over the moon.
Right, our next award is for inspiring others from an impressive list of nominees. This award honours an individual from the Royal Navy, Army or RAF who, through their example, has inspired others to achieve more in their lives. Well, nominated for this award, Inspirational Major Scott Mills. Now, he injected the Royal Marines ethos into the England football team, sparkling a miraculous run at the World Cup in Russia. I think we all remember that. Captain Jennifer Cahill is blind alpine skier Menna Fitzpatrick's guide, and she's helped her become the most decorated British winter Paralympian of all time. Incredible achievement. And Wing Commander Kevin Gatland planned the epic flypast to mark the 100th birthday of the RAF. That really was something so special. I was lucky enough to see it. I'll never forget it. It was amazing. And it inspires another generation to take to the skies. So, to present this award, please welcome Mr. Gareth Southgate.
Good evening. There are many people in the room who represent Queen of Country, and some are described as heroes. But I'm very clear that the only heroes are the ones in your teams and not in ours. The consequences of success and failure are so much higher. The award for inspiring others goes to Major Scott Mills.
The England football teams as you've never seen them before. In the run-up to the World Cup, a surprise which truly tested them to their limits. Both the men's and the women's teams put through their paces by Royal Marines at their training centre in Devon, led by their head of physical training, Scotty Mills.
The staff and all the players all got stuck in together, and they really truly started working as a team.
Everybody camped together, everybody went through all of the physical endurance together. Yeah, that respect for each other was something that carried right the way through Russia.
You're going to, at times, going to need to show some courage.
But it wasn't just the physical tests that gave them the edge. Words of wisdom from Scotty were invaluable during the World Cup, leading the team to their best performance in the competition for years.
He had a big impact on not only myself, but I think everybody that went down to Lympstone. He really linked the learning part for us with the hard physical training that we did, with the attachment to an elite organisation, and it certainly made me think a lot about what it means to represent our country in our field, and the comparables with those that wear the green beret.
He's served in Iraq and Afghanistan, and he was chosen to represent his country at the closing ceremony of the Olympic Games in London in 2012. But it was never Scotty's plan to become a Royal Marine.
I used to be into roller skating and ice skating and walking down the high street, and it started to rain and I didn't want to get my skates rusted, and I had a bit of respect for them and dived into the first shop that I saw, which was the Marines recruiting office. And out come this sergeant who'd been in the Falklands, big hairy moustache, and said, "You look like a fit lad, can you do pull-ups?" So with roller skates over my shoulder, I did a few pull-ups, and 31 years later I'm still here.
Before his current job, he ran Haslow Company, helping injured service personnel like his friend and former Royal Marine Lee, who was injured in a road traffic accident.
What Scotty's got, and probably his greatest asset, is empathy. He really understands people, and he can really feel for how you feel, and that's a rare attribute. Not everybody has it.
Yeah, I don't mind saying we've hugged a couple of times and shed a tear, and there aren't many people I would open up in that way to, for sure.
Scotty just exudes inspiration and enthusiasm. You meet up with Scotty, you've got a sort of slightly crazy idea, 10 minutes later with him and you agree to row across the Atlantic or something. I mean, it's just that sort of guy that just brings out the best in people and just lets people know that even though it's a crazy idea, they can do it. The world needs a lot more Scotty Mills.
Please welcome to collect his award, Major Scott Mills.
What does it mean to win the award?
Supremely humbled and really proud as well. Proud for my family. And when I talk about family, I talk about my family at Royal Marines, my family at home, my family of colleagues, and my family in England as well, in the England football team. This has all been part of the friendship and the camaraderie that we've built over all that time, and I'm absolutely supremely honoured to receive it.
What was it like putting these guys through their paces?
Well, it was great fun. First of all, the very humble team, humble staff, brilliant leaders, and a young team who is a new team. They've got new ideas with new ways of thinking, and a manager is prepared to take some chances as well, and some of those chances and calculated risks are really starting to pay off, and we can see that in the belief that we're all starting to develop in our football team, and that belief comes from this man next to me.
Gareth, how much did it actually help when you got to the World Cup that you went through all this training together? What did it do for you guys?
I think it was a huge part of our journey in coming together as a team, players and staff. We all shared the experiences together. Everybody from the guys that are in our medical team, the kit department, every area went through all of the challenges, and I think respect from the players for them really grew through that. We learned more about leadership, we learned more about resilience, and we learned more about the importance of the person next to you, albeit we're always representing our country. So there were so many important lessons for us, and we were inspired going there, and we definitely carried that through to the finals.
Scotty said it was incredible fun. Was that the first word that came to your mind?
It came to my mind. I'm not sure it came to everybody's mind. It was. I think sometimes we wonder whether we can put young people through these experiences, but you don't know until you put them in those environments how they're going to react and cope. And we have a team who are growing and who took a lot from those experiences and are still learning. We're not finished, but if we can have the humility and the excellence that the Marines have, then we'll be heading in the right direction.
Our fourth award is for the Hero at Home unit and recognises a unit from the Navy, Army or RAF for a single act or continued effort in the UK in the highest tradition of the armed forces. Nominations for this award. Well, with over 1,200 troops and civilians, the team from the Joint Chemical, Biological, Radiological and Nuclear Task Force have helped to clean up Salisbury after the deadly Novichok nerve agent attack on a former Russian spy. Then, the Fisheries Protection Squadron, which works often unseen protecting UK waters from piracy, people trafficking and the illegal drugs trade. They work 24/7, 365 days a year. And for 75 years, the dedicated volunteers of the RAF Mountain Rescue Service have rescued downed pilots and saved lost climbers in the most inhospitable corners of Britain. Please welcome on stage to present this award, Nick Knowles and Peter Cavendish.
Thank you for being the backbone of this country, and on a night of heroes, well, we're here to say thank you to you also, to just extend that to your families who also make such sacrifices when we're at that time of year about being together, when we know a lot of your families are not, you're deployed overseas, and it might not always be on the front pages of the newspaper, but it isn't just tonight on a night of heroes that we remember that, it is every day, so thank you very much. So the award for Hero at Home Unit goes to
the Joint Chemical, Biological, Radiological and Nuclear Task Force.
On the 4th of March, a former Russian spy, Sergei Skripal, and his daughter Yulia were found seriously ill on a bench in Salisbury. It was quickly established that the deadly Novichok nerve agent was involved, and a clean-up operation began.
First place was to try and track down where any contamination could be. It's a bit like a spread of a cold. If I touch you, you pass it on, and etc., and we had to think about that.
When two unconnected local people, Dawn Sturgis and Charlie Rowley, fell ill 3 months later, it became clear the possible area of contamination was much wider than first thought. A specialist military unit, the Joint Chemical, Biological, Radiological and Nuclear Task Force, deals with the most toxic substances known to man.
The largest initial site that we dealt with was Bourne Hill Police Station. That included a removal of around 50 office chairs, 1,500 carpet tiles, which all required packaging in waste containers. And then we carried out detailed decontamination of various surfaces, hard surfaces, in the properties.
We were shocked. It's not something that you expect to happen in the UK. We had to adapt and overcome our normal daily routine. Some of the sites were really small sites, and if you can imagine trying to get a large vehicle or a number of large vehicles into such a small space, we had to be on top of our game.
If we were in an operational environment on a battlefield where tempo is key, then that's the time to take risk. You don't take risk in Salisbury. So everything we had to do was very scientifically proven, very methodical, to ensure that we could deliver the highest degree of confidence to the UK and the people of Salisbury that when we left, it was fit to return to use.
Working behind the scenes, often out of sight of the public, the task force did the meticulous and dangerous work necessary to make Salisbury and Amesbury safe.
It's a little unusual to have recognition for what we do, as we wouldn't necessarily expect that to be a nerve agent used on the streets of the United Kingdom.
To do something that is public facing and something that's never been done before in the UK, and to hopefully be able to deliver back to Salisbury the degree of confidence that they had before those tragic events in early March, that is good to be recognised.
So impressive. Please welcome to collect their award Group Captain Jason Davies and representatives of the Joint Chemical, Biological, Radiological and Nuclear Task Force.
Congratulations, everybody. Such a privilege to chat to you after winning this award. What does it mean to be recognised for the fantastic work that you do?
I think for the whole team, there's 1,200 of us in total, 120 in Salisbury at any one time, but we were working behind closed doors. The last thing you wanted for Salisbury is to see ourselves in all the hazmat kit on a daily basis, walking around the streets. So we actually dawn and dusk, out sitting away from the public limelight in what was a global incident. So to be recognised, months after, but still whilst the operation is going on, is I think I speak for the team, it's pretty special.
Nick, we hear so many great things tonight about people saying how, what an important job they do. But this is proper stuff, isn't it? It's kind of mind-blowing, the work that they do.
Well, it's hugely impressive, and again, demonstrating why the British Armed Forces are simply the best in the world, because they can react to uncharted waters and react accordingly, put themselves in the line of danger, and actually clean up something that nobody had ever seen before and make the streets safe again. There is a big question, of course, which is there are here the Air Force and the Army represented in only one trophy. I wonder where it's going to end up sitting. Where is it going to end up sitting?
Oh, I think that'll be a discussion for later on.
Right, next up is the award for Best Reservist, and it celebrates an individual from any branch of the reserves for an act of bravery or exceptional service at home or abroad. So those who made the shortlist are Lance Corporal Benedict Kessie put his career as a digital marketing executive on hold to become a Royal Marine Reservist. He was central to the Mercy mission to the Caribbean after the devastation wrought by Hurricane Irma. Then, dedicated Corporal Isabel Hutchinson. She saved a young girl's life after talking her out of a suicide attempt. And Warrant Officer Gary Edwards. Now, he's taken part in a number of vitally significant historic restoration projects, and his enthusiasm for the past is now firing the minds of the next generation of heroes. So please welcome to present this award the lovely Georgia Toffolo, equally lovely Anthony Cotton.
Right, without further ado, the award for the Best Reservist goes to such a deserving winner, Corporal Isabel Hutchinson.
Army Reservist Isabel Hutchinson had been shopping in Poole. On her way home, she saw a woman she feared was about to take her own life.
I walked over to her, and that's when I obviously realised how serious the situation was, and that she was obviously not in a good place at all, and didn't want to be here anymore. So I just started talking to her.
I think we definitely encourage people not to be afraid to approach someone if you're worried about them, if you think they may be contemplating taking their own life. I think approaching them softly, cautiously, and asking if they're okay or how their day's going is a really good way to disrupt the chain of thought that they may be going through.
The crowd then grew, which was making me a bit more nervous, because you had people that were coming in saying, oh, what would your family think, and how would they feel, which in that situation you don't ask them questions, because she could be there because of that reason. So I managed to just say to them, look, can you just let me do the talking?
She not only approached it in the way we would absolutely advocate herself, but she also prevented others from perhaps taking actions that we wouldn't be so keen they do and physically intervening.
I definitely think that my military background made a difference within the situation, with being able to control a crowd, so having that confidence to be able to say, look, I'm dealing with the situation. I think something must have just clicked that actually I cared about her, and I don't know whether she thought, actually people do care about me and I can actually maybe overcome this.
What's really nice about Isabel's story is that we can all do that. All of us are able to step forward and make that human contact with someone and just ask them if they're okay.
The police did brilliant. They came and they were dressed so you couldn't really see they were police, they were just all in black. At that point she said, well, you just don't leave me just yet. So I stayed with her for a bit longer, talked to the police, obviously explained, and then they managed to get her in the car, and then off she went, and then off I went.
Isabel's family aren't surprised she stepped in to help someone in trouble.
Isabel is an amazing woman. I'm very privileged to call her my wife. I'm not surprised at the way she handled it. I thought she was absolutely fantastic. She's very kind and also an amazing soldier.
I think that is probably the most scared I have ever been in my entire life. In a sense, I think I feel quite proud of myself that I managed to probably save somebody's, that I saved her life, and hopefully now she's got over the demons and she's got the help she needs and she's living a happy life.
Remarkable. Please welcome to collect her award, Corporal Isabel Hutchinson.
Congratulations on getting your award. Such an incredible story. How important was your military training to what you did that day?
Definitely played a massive part in being able to control the situation and just being able to take her away from what she was feeling. So I don't think without the military I wouldn't have known how to approach her and how to ask the correct questions. I think I'd have probably gone in like everybody else did, feet in first, asking totally the wrong questions and probably aggravating the situation worse.
What would you want people watching this tonight, when it goes out, to take away from your story, do you think?
Just if they ever see anyone that's in a vulnerable situation, don't just walk past them or look at them on the street and go, or look at them. Actually just go, stop, talk to them. They might just need that little bit of conversation and it might pick them up.
Now, before we get back to the awards, we had hoped to be joined by the Prime Minister, but understandably, she is actually on her own overseas posting. God love her. We are delighted, though, that Mr. May could join us tonight. Thank you, sir. Really, really good to have you here. Thank you so much. And the Prime Minister has sent us this very, very special message.
Good evening, everyone. I'm sorry that I cannot be with you tonight at the Sun's Military Awards. It's been a huge privilege to attend these awards for the past 2 years, so I know what a great night you will all have. Witnessing firsthand the incredible work our brave men and women do in our armed forces is one of the biggest honours I have as Prime Minister. Your selfless courage, unswerving commitment, and dedication to duty. You know the true meaning of these values, and you demonstrate them day in and day out, every day of the year. Whether on the battlefield or off duty, and you do so not seeking glory, but in the name of our country and our people. So tonight, it is our turn to say thank you. The Millies have become a great British institution, championing our military heroes and reflecting the extraordinary scope of work our armed forces do. Tonight, we recognise all those serving at home and abroad, our reservists, and all who provide invaluable support to our armed forces. So let me congratulate all of tonight's nominees and winners, and say thank you to the families of our soldiers, sailors, Royal Marines, and those serving in the RAF, who celebrated a wonderful 100-year birthday this year. Thank you for the support you give, the sacrifices you make, and the pride you show in the work of your loved ones. A pride we all share. And finally, let me say a huge thank you to the Sun and to Sun readers for your constant support of our armed forces and for ensuring that our serving men and women get the recognition they rightly deserve.
Right, too. Right, so we are halfway through and we turn our attention to the award for Hero Overseas Individual, which celebrates an individual from across the services for an act of inspirational heroism outside of the UK. Nominated for this award, dedicated leading medical assistant Roxanne Starsmere. She saved countless lives on board HMS Echo, which has actually plucked over 6,000 desperate migrants from the Mediterranean. And I know you remember this story, when a gunman opened fire on revellers in Las Vegas in the worst mass shooting atrocity in US history. Queen's Dragoon Guard soldiers May, Priestley, Finlay, Woodward, Astorbury and Davidson ignored the perils to tend to the wounded and to help those who were running away from the carnage. And brave diver Lance Corporal Connor Rowe was one of the team of skilled rescuers who saved the Thai football team and their coach trapped in that flooded cave. Again, we all remember that story. Please welcome on stage to present this award, Aunt Middleton and Fresh from the Jungle, Emily Atack.
The award for Heroes Overseas goes to the Las Vegas Six.
First of October 2017, and a gunman rains down bullets on thousands of people at a country music festival, firing from the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Hotel.
Hey, you guys, get down!
6 soldiers from C Squadron, the Queen's Dragoon Guards, had been enjoying a night out in the city after 4 weeks in the States on exercise.
North of the Mandalay Bay is coming out of a window.
We were walking across the bridge. At first we thought
it's fireworks. Obviously, being over there, you wouldn't really expect it. And then we heard it for a second time. And then that's when like May pretty much said, "Oh, I think that's gunfire." I said, "Don't be stupid. We're in Las Vegas. It's going to be a show somewhere. So we're going to try and find a show." We started walking through the Tropicana Hotel. And at this point, like, I'm confronted by like a wave of people saying, "The gunman's coming, the gunman's coming."
Everyone's running past the window. And it's not like normal running where you were people like barging out of the way, pushing other people out of the way and things like that. So it's like, this is not a normal sort of situation.
Go, 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 go. That way, that way, that way, that way.
So a lot of them were coming to the hotel for shelter. There's loads of people like looking for their families and trying to call up loved ones and that, and asking if you'd seen people.
I noticed a man that was on the floor. It looks like a considerable amount of stress, like a amount of pain. So I explained I was going to lift the T-shirt up to have a look. And it was like he had a gunshot wound in his lower left back. So I kept pressure on my hand initially. I was reassuring him, saying I wasn't going to leave him. I wasn't going to leave him. That was his main concern. He thought I was just going to go. And I kept promised I wasn't going to go anywhere. And a minute or maybe 2 minutes passed. And he wasn't very responsive at all. And a short while after that, there was no response from him at all.
Hey, they're shooting right at us, guys. Everybody stay down. Stay down.
2 lads brought this woman in, and she'd been shot in her cheek and in her leg. The lads helped me carry her outside, and when we got outside, there was like loads of ambulances out near the front across the road, so we carried her over to there.
Working through the night, the troopers spent 6 hours leading people to safety, treating the wounded and assisting emergency teams before being released by the first responders. The shooting left 58 people dead and 851 wounded, and remains America's most deadly gun massacre.
There was no real sort of emotion until after, when you sort of sit there and recap. I learned a bit about myself that day, which was how you'd actually react in a situation, because you never really know until you have to go into one of those situations yourself.
We're very proud of them. A lot of these are young guys. They're quite junior with little or no operational experience. And yet they were plunged into this situation and they reacted as anyone would hope they would. They could have hidden away and shied away from doing anything, but they didn't. They went forward and tried to help people. Absolutely the right thing to do.
Please welcome to collect their award, the heroes, the real heroes from Las Vegas.
Guys, huge congratulations. I know perhaps this award more than any tonight will come with mixed feelings for you all.
Yeah, it's been a long road, and it's nice that you do something like this, and there's some people out there that I think are absolutely phenomenal. Like, to get them the recognition they deserve, really, for what they do.
I think what's incredible is the minute we say, you guys are heroes, thank you for what you've done, you say it's nice to thank everybody else for what they've done.
I think it's the army military mentality. It's our job. We're trained to do it, so we should do it. I don't really want recognition for it. I just want it's a job that we should be doing.
Although on that day you weren't there to do your job, so I mean, was there any thought of maybe walking in the other direction?
None at all. Like, when we first heard it was gunfire, as I said previously, we just sort of, because we had just come off exercise, we were like sort of used to that sort of situation, so we just ran straight towards it and helped exactly like we would have on the exercise with the Americans or any other exercise. We just sort of exactly treated it as that, and I think everyone deserves what they've been given, whether they say it or not. I think everyone deserves it here. So.
Emily, it's that modesty which is, you know, we're not surprised about. We've done a few of these awards before now, but it just kind of blows you away, doesn't it?
It completely blows me away. Honestly, I could sob right now. I'm not going to because I'll embarrass myself. But my new friend Dean here just said to me, he said, "Oh, yeah, I saw you in that coffin full of snakes. That was really brave." No, that is not brave. That is me being a squealy, annoying little girl. What you all do is so incredible, and you don't think of anything else other than to solve the problem in that moment, and you risk your lives without even thinking about it, and it's unbelievable. You should be so proud of yourselves. You deserve a bevy, put it that way. It's amazing.
And Ant, I mean, a lot of us will be, you know, not surprised that these guys do this sort of thing on duty, but I think maybe the audience at home might be a little more surprised, or maybe not, that it's the off-duty heroism tonight that is so impactful as well.
That's why we're the most elite fighting force in the world. It's not a coincidence, it's just repetition, it's act after act, it's proof after proof. Whether it's a conflict zone, whether it's humanitarian aid, whether it's helping other countries, whether it's helping other people, the history doesn't lie, and we're setting history. These guys are setting history as it goes along. So, you know, for an ex-military person like myself, standing here, I feel humbled, and just to be here with my brothers and my sisters out there is a truly humbling experience, even though I've left. But it just goes to show why I miss it so much. And like the boys say, it's just our job. It's what they do. It's what they know best to do. We're the best disciplined force in the world, and it doesn't matter what goes on. As soon as help is needed, boom, the boys jump into action. That's exactly what they've done, and that's why we're the best in the world. Full stop.
Right, Award 7 is for the hero at home. Now that's an individual and celebrates someone from across the services for an act of inspirational heroism right here in the UK. So let's have a look at the nominations. Commander Andrew Parkinson single-handedly saved the life of a drowning woman after she fell in the water and then became trapped beneath a yacht. And when a teenage terrorist tried to blow up a tube station in Parsons Green, Lieutenant Colonel Craig Palmer ran towards the danger, again, running towards the danger to help police. And dedicated Colour Sergeant Derek Simpson was central to an army mission to battle back a wildfire engulfing Saddleworth Moor earlier on this year. Well, to present this award, please welcome Dame Kelly Holmes, my favourite man, Ross Kemp.
Lorraine, can I say you got that wrong, actually? She's Colonel Dame Kelly.
Of course.
It's always truly humbling to be at Millies. It's a great opportunity for civvies like myself to get a chance to say a thank you, not only up front, but also for my family. Particularly at this time of year, we know many guys and girls are serving away. And you are all true heroes, real heroes. Now over to the Colonel.
Yes. I have to say this one thing my brother said, I have to say to you. All right, bruv? I got that out of the way. Many presenters have said so much tonight. I don't want to say too much, it's your night, but I have to say I'm so honoured to have been serving personnel and to be in the room of one big family. So thank you very much, and well done to everybody here. So the award for Hero at Home individual goes to Commander Andrew Parkinson.
The River Hamble in Hampshire, the scene of a life-saving rescue in July 2018, carried out by Royal Navy Commander Andy Parkinson.
It was my birthday, 12th of July, and it was absolutely glorious morning. And I was on leave, and I keep my boat here. Kettle had just boiled, just about to come up on deck, and I heard a splash followed by a second splash. A couple of seconds afterwards, there was a female voice screamed, "Help."
A woman had fallen from her boat while manoeuvring in the marina with her husband and a friend. The husband had also gone in. Commander Parkinson ran to investigate.
I could only see the gentleman in the water, and I couldn't see the lady. Looked over the side, and right under the stern on that corner, I could just see the top of her hair.
Andy jumped into the water and went under the yacht. He found the woman had become trapped by her life jacket on the prop shaft of the propeller. He managed to get her head just above the water.
I knew if I let go of her, she'd be straight back under. Plus, she was losing consciousness as well. So we had to do something pretty quick. So what I really needed was a knife.
Commander Parkinson went under again and managed to cut some of the life jacket. Then, using ropes from the yacht, he secured the woman so she couldn't sink or get carried off in the fierce current. By this point, the ambulance was well on its way.
The colour had gone from her face, her lips turned blue. She was obviously not in a good way at all. I dragged her to the pontoon, and then literally just deadlifted her out of the water and then pushed her stomach into a rib cage and quite a bit of water came out.
I believe that Andrew made the utmost difference to Linda that day, and without him being there, the situation would have been very different.
When we arrived at scene, if the person had still been submerged underneath, then that would have been very, very serious, potentially life-threatening.
A special visitor at the marina.
Hey, how are you?
Linda Davies, who was rescued, and husband Adrian.
That's okay.
I really appreciate
That's what we do. Oh, nice to see you again.
Quite emotional because first time I've seen him, I'm very, very obviously grateful to Andy for all that he did to get me out of that situation and to get me back onto land.
3, 2, 1.
Linda realises how lucky she was that July day, having one of the Royal Navy's finest on hand just when she needed help.
Extraordinary man. Please welcome to collect the award, Commander Andrew Parkinson.
Congratulations. I mean, what a way to spend a birthday.
Yeah, I just thought I must have a quiet day on my boat. I'm on leave, a couple of quiet beers, weather's fantastic, and a bit of peace and quiet for the day. That's what I was expecting.
I'm interested in when that military training kicks in, and at what point, how long do you leave it before you think, oh, it's me, I've got to do it?
You don't have that time. It's instant. I mean, I have got a strong background in sea survival, be it quite a while ago, but I spend a lot of time on the water. Weekly I'm on the water, so you're comfortable in that environment, and you can recognise the conditions sort of fairly quickly. And I think my immediate thought was, obviously I'm going to do something here, but also, what's my exit? I'm going to go into danger now. But I did think at one point that this is it's going to be a bad situation. It's not going to finish well, and then I've got to think about myself. And how I'm going to get out.
Because they're a big tide, right? Strong tide.
So I looked. There was a ladder that I could see. I'm a strong swimmer. There's a ladder I knew I could probably get to get out. So I knew that was my exit. But then, to answer your question, it kicks in straight away. It's just instinct. It's just what you do.
This is like literally a hero, jumping in, saving 2 people's lives. He's obviously got a fantastic military background, so you have that sense of urgency, compassion, you want to help people. But, this is something extraordinary.
Behind the armed forces community, there's a wide range of support networks, as we know, and we're going to take a closer look now at 3 groups who provide much-needed assistance. The Support to the Armed Forces Award is given to a civilian charity, group or a company that has delivered unrivalled support. Nominated for this award, the commemoration charity There But Not There created those incredible ghostly Tommy statues to honour those that fell in World War I and raise money for today's generation of veterans. Inspirational Tech Vets is training and connecting veterans so that they can work in the growing cyber security jobs market. Very, very important. And Give Us Time has sent hundreds of service families going through really tough times on much needed holidays to sort of recuperate, reconnect and have some respite. So please welcome on stage to present this award, Kim Marsh and Jane Moore.
And the winner of the Support to the Armed Forces Award goes to There But Not There.
Haunting images of the First World War have been appearing in locations from the White Cliffs of Dover to the White House. Each silhouette represents someone who died in conflict.
The There But Not There project has got 3 aims: to commemorate, to educate and to heal. To commemorate those who fell in the First World War, to educate current generations about the awfulness of war so we don't go there again, and thirdly, to raise funds to help the healing process of those who've been injured, particularly with mental health injuries, in recent conflicts.
In schools and places of worship across the UK, more ghostly images. transparent silhouettes of those who died.
People represent someone who they want to remember but may have lost their lives in the First World War, but also the Second World War and also recent conflicts. You know, it's just a lovely way to bring that individual back to their community.
And in the nation's homes, 10-inch Tommies made by volunteers and veterans from Royal British Legion Industries.
I went and bought one to remember the 3 soldiers that I lost when I served in Afghanistan.
Rowley was awarded a military cross for Operation Panther's Claw in Helmand, which saw heavy British casualties. There But Not There was formed in their name, and in the name of all those still recovering from the aftermath of war.
We're trying to educate everyone about it and also help people from all different conflicts. I mean, I'm 28 and Geordie's in his 70s, and yet we're still part of the same organisation.
We went to Far East, Middle East, Germany, places like that. And then these young little lads with the Afghanistan, and then we look back to the First World War. And I'm very proud to be representing people like that.
I want this charity to be, from a personal perspective, as successful as it possibly can be, and we raise as much money as we possibly can do to give to those 6 incredible benefiting charities that can help us achieve our aims of commemorate, educate and, most importantly, heal.
Such an amazing idea. Please welcome to collect their award, Director of Operations Rolly Gregg and the team from There But Not There.
They're so powerful and yet so simple, as I guess most of the good ideas are. Where did the idea come from?
It's a very simple idea to get the names off the wall. They've been there 100 years. We need to get them back in their communities. This project, under Rolly's direction, has done that. We're in 3,500 locations with our silhouettes. We're in 2,000 locations with our 6-foot Tommies. And I'm so immensely chuffed as a simple artist amongst the most exalted company I have ever been in, that we can now use it to raise the funds, to get the VAT back from the government, to sell our Tommies, to make the millions that we need for our 6 beneficiaries. So from a little oak, we are making a massive forest, and we must keep going on that line.
And in terms of that fundraising, where are we now?
It's been incredible. Not only have we managed to be the catalyst to the Chancellor giving a further £13 million to the Armed Forces community to look after our veterans of today. You know, we have turned over 5.6 million. We've given various bits of grants to the Invictus Games Foundation. We've given grants to True Patriot Love when we launched out in Canada, and we are now raising as many more funds as we possibly can to remember those people that didn't make it back for Christmas, who died after the armistice, to ensure that we continue to raise vital funds for today's veterans to give to our 6 benefiting charities too.
Right, our penultimate award is for innovation. Now, this is a category that recognises a company, a team or an individual that has designed, developed and delivered a piece of life-saving or game-changing equipment that's basically transforming the work of our armed forces at home and abroad. So, nominated for this award are government scientists at DSTL have achieved a world first. They've discovered the signature of deadly sepsis before it becomes life-threatening. Now, this discovery will save hundreds of thousands of lives. Then, a small RAF team spearheaded a satellite project. It's called Carbonite 2. It's been launched into space, this is brilliant, and has the ability to beam live surveillance footage direct to the cockpits of fast jets. Amazing. And genius Royal Marines engineer Paul Anderson took old mobile phones, there's one there, just going off, and obsolete army radios, and designed kit that allows soldiers to see all their comrades' positions on the battlefield on a screen. It is just phenomenal, it really is. So please, welcome on stage to present this award, Jolie Richardson and Mark Austin.
The word that stood out more than anything, hearing all these stories tonight, is inspiration. Inspiring all of us to do more, be more of service, achieve more, risk more. So thank you for doing this. And the winner is
the Defence Science and Technology Laboratory.
Aoife was about 9 weeks old. I remember it was a Monday. She'd been ill since about the Friday. She sort of had a bit of a cold, you know, that type of thing. She kind of deteriorated over the weekend.
Concerned about Aoife's health, her mother Louise took her to see her GP, who immediately sent her to hospital.
I was told that they were going to put her in a coma, an induced coma, because her body was kind of struggling and it was resting chest. And I was like, what's actually happening here? You know, is she going to make it?
Louise was then given the devastating news that Aoife had sepsis.
Sepsis is the way the body responds to an infection. So it's always triggered by an infection, but in sepsis the body's immune system goes into overdrive, and if we don't stop it, that starts to damage the organs and tissues.
But after many days of careful treatment, Aoife improved and made a full recovery.
Sepsis is frighteningly common and astonishingly deadly. We now estimate it claims at least 52,000 lives every year in the United Kingdom, which is more than are claimed by breast cancer, bowel cancer and prostate cancer put together.
Since the first successful use of penicillin in the Second World War, solving infection problems on the battlefield has often meant the military leads from the front in medical breakthroughs. Scientists at the Defence Science and Technology Laboratory have been working for the past 10 years to improve sepsis survival rates.
We decided to think about alternative ways to diagnose infection. So instead of waiting for somebody to be ill and become symptomatic and have a short treatment window, we thought, why not try and treat them or diagnose them before they became ill? We've had over 103 clinicians, nurses at research centres across the UK and Germany taking part, and there were months, years where we thought we'd never get there. So it was a long, hard road. But yes, once we got that amazing result, then big smiles all around. We've found the signature. We found something upon which we can build a box that you can take into the field and test personnel.
We're finding that actually our work, while founded historically on military application, is really becoming the sort of research arm for the whole of defence and security across all of government, and increasingly helping non-military as well as military people stay safe.
By having this sort of early intervention and having some way of defining yes or no, is sepsis prevalent here or not? And I think that's going to be an amazing thing and stop more families having to be in positions like my family were on that day. It's had such a profound impact on us and on our lives.
Fantastic. Please welcome to collect their award Dr. Roman Lukaszewski and the team from the Defence Science and Technology Laboratory.
Try and give us some context. I mean, this is a game changer for millions of people. Was there a light bulb moment, or at what point did you realise what you were onto?
We had some inklings. We had some pilot study results about 10 years ago, which gave good confidence, but we knew we had to go larger. So we recruited over 4,000 patients into a study to really nail down and give us confidence in what we had. And it's once we recruited all those patients and analysed all their samples and did the hard yards that this summer we confirmed that there was indeed a signature there that could be used for diagnostic purposes.
And how satisfying is it to get some recognition for all that hard work tonight?
You know, I'm really proud of this team. So as the Chief Executive of DSTL, this is the team that have done all of their hard work. And I can say that they've really dedicated actually much of their professional career to the quest that has just been realised in the summer of this year. So, 15 years or more of hard work resulting in a tremendous breakthrough will not only help the military in our front line, but it'll help thousands and millions of people around the world with really, something like penicillin, like a breakthrough idea that will transform medicine.
Now, every year at the judge's discretion,
We recognise exceptional service from an individual, a group or a unit with the Special Judges Award. This year, of course, is no exception. So to present our final award of the evening, please welcome to the stage the beautiful Kate Silverton.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, my lords. Thank you very much indeed. It's such a privilege to have been invited here to present this very special award. I have a long-held admiration for and a connection with our armed forces from within my family, joining the Officer Training Corps at university, through to, more importantly, marrying my husband, former Royal Marine. So it is on that note, the members of the RAF, it will give me great pleasure to announce that the Judges Award for Special Recognition goes to RAF 100.
The Royal Air Force has celebrated its 100th birthday with 5 months of events in the UK and around the world. Former Battle of Britain Spitfire pilot, squadron leader Alan Scott, who's now 96, took an anniversary flight from Biggin Hill.
Oh, good old Spitfire. Does me really good.
In America, Germany and France, iconic aircraft on show and a chance to celebrate the solidarity between nations. Free displays were put on for the public that saw more than 100,000 visitors, and 9 to 15-year-olds were invited to special events to stimulate their interest in science, technology, engineering and maths.
We set out to commemorate our history and to celebrate who we are and what we do as an organisation today, and also to inspire the next generation. And against all 3 of those headlines, I think we've had a wonderful year. And I think it's been all the more impressive because it's been conducted in the midst of an already very busy Royal Air Force, busy in operations around the world, busy growing our frontline capability, busy recruiting and retaining some outstanding people. We wanted this to be a national celebration, and people have really turned out for that. And we've got a real feeling of connection with our nation, with the Royal Air Force, and that's just been tremendous. It makes us all immensely proud.
A centenary relay saw a specially designed baton visit 100 RAF sites in 100 days, ending on Horse Guards Parade on the 10th of July to coincide with the centrepiece of the celebrations, a stunning flypast over Buckingham Palace.
Please welcome to collect this award Air Chief Marshal Sir Stephen Hillier and representatives of RAF 100. Nobody else could do that. Just you guys. Nobody else in the world could do that. That was amazing, absolutely amazing. It really was.
Well, thank you very much. It was such a privilege to be able to show what the Royal Air Force is able to do today, but also to reflect back on our history and inspire those future generations and make that connection with the public in the UK and around the world.
It just made us all so proud.
Well, it made us hugely proud as well,
So
and that
should be.
support we'd had from everybody across the country was just something which really made that connection, made it feel really special for us as well.
Well, guys, congratulations, first of all. What a way to finish what's been an incredible year, an incredible celebration.
It has been just an outstanding year in all respects. In the midst of all the business and operations, also to have RAF 100 and to have this unique opportunity just to celebrate and commemorate and inspire. What a privilege for all of us. And I think anybody in the Royal Air Force this year has been walking 10 feet tall as a result. And we're now just looking forward into our second century of similar success.
And that is it from the 2018 Millies. You can see more on the winners on our website, forces.net, as ever is the address. But for now, from Banqueting House in London, it's goodbye.